Remember when you were a kid and you thought anything was possible? What if I told you it still is? Would you believe me? Have you forgotten how to play, to imagine? That's what we're going to dive into in this episode. A lot of times for me, being able to get into that sort of mindset requires silence from my outside world. I have to go into a different place of myself. One thing you can do to help yourself get there is meditation. And I made you a 9-minute guided meditation if you need a little help getting to that place. It's just a simple meditation that you can do every day to help you get to that place of stillness where you're not so stimulated by the outside world, but you get back to that place that's deep inside of you that knows that we're limited by our outside world, but we're not limited in our inner world. So make sure you visit me on Instagram to grab that free guided meditation. Let's get into today's talk. Welcome to Star Potential, a podcast where we explore the meaning of our existence while having a few laughs and sometimes tears through stories from the road of life. I'm your host, Julie Jo Hughes. As a stage performer, my life is quite literally about song and dance. I believe that life here on Earth is a playground for discovery, not a contest to be won. We ask questions together like, how do I evolve my consciousness? And how do you sing a passionate ballad when there's an old guy in the front row with his balls showing? True story. Stick around for these fun conversations. Welcome back to Star Potential. I'm your host, Julie Jo. Today, I'd like to talk to you again about some wisdom that I received from my own daughter. You will often hear me talk about my children on here. There are so many times that I think to myself that they are more my guides than I am their guide. I really feel like our children mirror so much back to us, and it really puts you in a position where you can choose to see what you see and continue doing and being who you've been and what you've done, or you can choose to see it and from that awareness evolve your choices. And I'm so grateful to my children for that. They really, just by being themselves, really allow me to see myself more clearly. And it's not just them parroting back to me things that I've said, but also I see them repeating patterns that they've learned from me and from their father and from other people in their world. And by seeing those things in my own children, I'm often able to see things about myself that I'm not able to see in the mirror or in my daily life. So I'm eternally grateful to my children for just being who they are. And even though it often triggers me, it's those triggers which I can be grateful for because the triggers allow us to learn and evolve, make different choices or more informed choices. This week, one of the things that my daughter said that really set me back was she was looking in the mirror. She had just woken up for the day. She's combing her hair in the mirror and looking at the image of herself. And she asked, "Do you ever wonder if we're just living inside a dream?" And she's really been on this kick lately where she likes to pinch herself or she'll hit her face and say, "Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming?" I'm not sure where this has come from all of a sudden, but she is definitely exploring this concept for herself of what is imaginary and what is reality, or what is truth maybe. And so when she asked me that question, I said, yes, I do often wonder that. And she said, like, I was just having a dream and it felt really real. But then you woke me up and now this feels real. So how do I know which one is actually real? The things she says sometimes are just so profound and she doesn't realize it. You know, she hates when I tell her, "You're so wise." She says, "Don't tell me I'm wise. I'm just Greta." But she says these things with such curiosity and wonder. And I think, you know, it really puts me in my place of if we were all, as grown-ups, able to look at our world with the curiosity of the eyes of a child, how would we experience each day differently, right? And so I love seeing the world through my children's eyes, also because it reminds me to have a beginner's mindset. It reminds me that my mind is so busy trying to make life easier for me by categorizing and labeling everything. But if I were to step back from the knowledge I have as a grown-up and to look at something like my eyes were brand new, would I see it differently? Would I experience it differently? And I invite you to try the same. As you go through your day today, each time you see something and your brain automatically says, yes, I know about that thing, try to just say, thank you. I'm going to ignore that for now. And try experiencing things throughout your day with the eyes of a beginner. Imagine you've never seen these things before. Take it all in. How do you experience it differently? If you're working on something for your job or your own business, perhaps, if you looked with that fresh set of curious eyes, it might allow you to solve the problem completely outside the box, or to see something in a different way that's different from the way you've always done it. And this can really be an advantage. Back to the story with my daughter, when she said this about how do I know which is truth and which is reality, I said, it reminds me of that story about the man and the butterfly. Do you remember that story? This is a story that we've read together a few times, but it's been maybe several months, and I'm going to put it just in a nutshell here. She said she didn't remember the story. And then after I reminded her, she did remember. But the premise goes something like there were two men fishing. I believe the story comes from somewhere in the East, but don't quote me on exactly which country. But this is a story that's been passed down for generations. It's in one of our children's book collections. And the man is fishing with his friend, and he falls asleep on the bank. And as he's dreaming, he feels that he is soaring above this body of water. I think it's a river. And it feels so real to him. He is a butterfly, and he's fluttering over the flowers and over the water. And the experience is so real that he experiences all five senses as a butterfly. And then suddenly his friend wakes him and says, "Oh my gosh, you were dreaming. Tell me, what was that dream about?" And he said, "Was I dreaming? It felt so real. Now I'm confused. Am I a man dreaming of what it would be like to be a butterfly? Or perhaps I'm a butterfly dreaming of what it would be like to be a man." And this story is so profound in the way that how do we know that what we accept to be truth is truth? Do we have to ultimately know? Or can we allow ourselves the fun and the wonder of the curiosity? What if what I'm experiencing is not actually reality, but some kind of virtual simulation, some kind of dream? I invite you to do a little of your own research. There's a lot of research that's been done on where we go in our dreaming state and what is the difference between what we do in the physical world and where we go when we're dreaming. And in fact, is there some truth to where we go when we are dreaming? If anyone has connections to a dream expert or someone who works in the field of analyzing dreams or analyzing these different kinds of states of consciousness, I would be fascinated to invite someone here on Star Potential to talk about that with us. But the idea here is that there are a couple of things I want you to take away from this talk today. One is looking through your day with the curiosity of a child. Don't take everything at face value. Try to ignore a little bit of your brain that tells you you already know so much. Because when we allow ourselves to be curious and to admit that we might not know with certainty certain things, life just becomes more fun. And that is something that we're all about here, is the play. We are really here to play and experience and to experiment with our world and to see that we are the creator of our own reality, our own experience. So why not have fun with it? Try some different things. See what happens. You don't have to take anything I'm saying at face value. Take these as mere suggestions. Try out these ideas in your own life and then come back to us. Report what you've discovered, because that's what it's all about. It's the fun of discovering, of play with a beginner's mindset. And when we do that, each day can hold so many treasures, right? Everything can be a treasure when we're willing to look at the world with curiosity instead of certainty. And the other thing that I'd like you to take from this talk today is when you forget how to be curious, when you forget how to be childlike, when you forget how to stop being so stressed in all of your adulting, look to the children for cues. They are so wise. The children aren't looking at their world with as thick of a filter as we are. We have put so many filters and labels upon our own existence by the time we get to adulthood that it's hard for the wonder to get to us as easily. And so if you've forgotten how to play, if you've forgotten how to wonder, if you've forgotten how to be curious, look to the children. Watch. See how they experience their world. Practice. Pretend you're an alien coming from another planet and you've just landed here and you're trying to assess how to live in this world. Observe the children as the leaders. They are the ones who will take us into different possibilities because they're not already limited in what they believe is possible. What limits us so much is not our knowledge and our breadth of worldly experience. What limits us is that we think we already know. We think that we have experienced so much that you can't tell us anything new. And that's where we're shooting ourselves in the feet. Because what is holding us back from progress is that we've forgotten how to play. So watch the children. See how they can make a game out of anything. And then practice on your own. Make a game out of your own day, your own life. Play with your world. Play with your reality. See how you can shift things, or see how things shift when you shift something internally. Just try it. As I said, don't take my word for it. Give it a try on your own and have your own working experience of how things in your world can shift. When you're willing to shift something inside, play with your world and see how it affects things in your reality. Cheers to continued discovery and play on. Until next time, have a great week. We'll see you for more play, more discovery, and more insights. Thank you for tuning into Star Potential with Julie Jo Hughes. If this episode resonates with you, I invite you to take 2 seconds, scroll down and click 5 stars on the rating. It's a fast and easy way to help the show gain exposure and momentum. If you're loving the show, I invite you to leave a quick review about what you love. Reviews are like gold to podcasters. And to show my gratitude, you'll be entered to win my monthly giveaway when you send me a screenshot of your review. I also made you a gift. It's a 9-minute simple gratitude meditation with singing to help you practice mindfulness. Just visit me on Instagram at @thejuliejo or find the link in the show notes. Thank you for your love and support. Until next time, keep shining your light. And that's a wrap.